Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday out there. Back to the show. Today was supposed to be my day off too. I was talking about that on X. I'm like, just did the 2-day conference. Went extraordinarily well. Huge success. Oh, had to write a post to my speakers and all the attendees and stuff out there. If you haven't seen it, you guys really made it a great experience. And really appreciate it. Way more positive feedback than negative. Most of the negative feedback was just like literal nonsense, trolling type stuff from what I understand. I didn't see everything. Thankfully I curate my feed, use the buttons at my disposal. I wouldn't say liberally, but adjudicatedly, as deserving, all that stuff too. And it's pretty good. I like it. So boy, have we got an episode for you today though. Jesus. I don't know. The double whatever you're paying for this content, because you're going to get it. You're going to get amazing free stuff today and continue to get free stuff. That's the cool thing about this channel. A lot of free stuff, a lot of good stuff. No more t-shirts for a while though. No more t-shirts. I got to take a break from t-shirts. T-shirts are too expensive. They're too good. If you already got a t-shirt, congratulations. They may be limited edition. You may never get another one. Who knows? No expectations there. Let me say hi to chat before we get this place popping. It's gonna be popping. It's gonna be popping today. It's like what's that? Who's a comedian that did the man, what is his name? I always forget. The short black guy. What's his name? So funny. He's like, you're gonna learn today. I like that one. It's like you're gonna get some good content today. You're gonna find out. You're gonna see today about Kevin Hart. There you go. Shout out to Kevin Hart. You're gonna see today about some very interesting stuff, very on-demand analysis that very hard to get anywhere else within. You know what? I woke up, I looked at my phone, I saw a notification. Richard just posted it to YouTube now, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, this happened before he's posted videos. I've been right there, within sub 5 minutes, like 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, all that stuff. I was like, oh great, he just posted it. So I tweet it and all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm first. And then I look and I'm like, people have already reposted it. He posted on Twitter last night, and it's like, oh god, it's so funny when that happens. So that's okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just funny when you think, you saw something first and it wasn't the right place to see it. Yeah, Kevin Hart. There we go. The Benjamin 369. It's not Benjamin 369. I think you've been on the show before, or you've chimed in somewhere through there. Tam out there killing it. Appreciate you. Red Squirrel, number 3 today or number 1? One of those. Funny enough, the Twitter comment came up. It took precedence over the YouTube one for some reason, or maybe it just didn't scroll or something like that. Jay, oi, how's it going? Or Io, one of those. Fox Model, ready for more max facts. Oh, you're going to get some max facts today. There we go. You're going to get some facts today. Gently tap or outright smash the like button, folks. If you remove the sell button from your keyboard and you have another button, perhaps a buy button, perhaps the facts button, perhaps the just get to it already button, you have to wait for that. But yeah, it'll be fun. You'll like it. You'll like this. You'll like today's show. Crypto Elite, how's it going, Elite? What alpha? That's what I'm saying. It hasn't got here yet. I don't know. I don't like saying alpha because at least it's my personality too. I'd rather be underrated than overrated. So like, I try to be humble and all that stuff as well. You can be humble and have swagger. Like, I feel like I have swagger when I need to have swagger. Being right a lot helps, and I try to do that as well. Try not to get your hopes up for nothing. Don't do clickbait. Actually, 3 things you missed. There's actually more than 3 things. Yeah. See, even that, I was like, what's a good tagline for this? I'm watching YouTube videos, and there's like the 3 things, you need. The 5 things that you can't go without, like all that stuff. And I was like, 3. You know what? There was initially 3 things. It was initially 2 things, and I found another one. And then I actually watched the entire video this morning. And I'm like, there are several things. So there's that. So there you go. Dutch Gaming HG, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Mark Vanderberg. Hey, just launched. Can you check it? Not sure what just launched, but I'm not sure I'll be checking much launch stuff today. However, I do want to pull up on screen this one. If you haven't seen this, I highly, highly recommend you listen to it. I'm probably going to listen to it again. Like every time I listen to it the second time, there's always something more that I learn. And it's, the King has returned. This was kind of, I'll tell you my first reaction to this too. I saw the King has returned. I was like, whoa, is he going to allude to something more in there? And he kind of does. Again, I'll give you my analysis and stuff. But also, I was kind of hoping he would save the King has returned for the first live stream. So I was like kind of not disappointed, but I was like, oh, that's such a good one for, you haven't really returned. You just made another pre-recorded video, which we totally appreciate. However, that's not quite the return. Again, maybe it's just, did I catch myself having expectations? Oh, wow. Gotta stop. Gotta avoid doing that, right? So constructive criticism. Yeah, I love this thumbnail a lot. It is pretty cool. However, not quite the return that we all want to see and we hope to see and are likely to see, that I'll get into in a little bit. So 52 minutes of pretty bullish stuff, I gotta say. And I think that there's a few different pieces. I mean, there's so much to this video. There's actually a shout out to Somi. So timestamp. Did he add Somi's timestamps, or did Somi add his timestamps? I don't know. If somebody had timestamps to this original video, it's pretty cool too. I think, yeah, good question on that. I'm not sure. But these timestamps, they are great. However, you really got to listen in on some of these pieces because there's some very subtle, interesting things he talks about. So, for example, I'll get into the three things in just a minute, but some of the stuff that's just, he says outright that is just kind of like, whoa, like, what do you mean by that? Like, how could that go? One thing I'll mention that is I've been clipping, and I've been just like, this whole day, I think I finished clipping mostly today. Again, it's supposed to be my day where I'm like, all right, I'm going to clip the rest of the conference stuff. I'm going to post it. And Richard posted a video. I'm like, all right, well, that takes precedence over everything else for a little bit. So yeah, funny enough, he did mention the conference too. I posted that clip. So appreciate that. Although I'm not sure that he knows that we did it for, he was playing on the point of 55 and that numerology. By the way, I did 55 sit-ups not too long ago, maybe more. I did at least 55 as a kid. To prepare for this stream, not only did I listen to Kanye, not only did I listen to Ye, I did 55 sit-ups. So I'd be less boring, huh? I'd be a little less boring. So I think I don't think he got that it was 5555, which was the play on the date again. I know he doesn't spend time watching things and listening to things in detail, because why would he? I don't want him to. I want to spend time on the important stuff. But I'm still not sure he understood that one of the reasons the look ahead futuristic theme of the conference was playing on the date of 5555, and that we're having it on 5525. So pretty cool. He did give a shout out to the conference. He didn't talk much about Trump. He talked a little bit about that, a little bit about, he said, one thing he said was, I'm not sure, nobody expected Donald Trump to do the things that he did. And then I was like, when I first heard that, I was thinking, is he talking about launching the Trump token? Because that one wasn't super surprising. I mean, again, you could say nobody called it, but it's like, wasn't super shocking. And then the other part was also extremely bullish narrative for crypto, that the president has meme coins. And not only everyone, like, quick tangent, everyone who's doubting that this administration is aligned to help pump crypto. Where's your data? Why wouldn't they help pump the crap out of crypto? You could speculate that all of them own it, especially the president's family, who keep speaking in conferences about it, and they have their own meme coins. Why wouldn't they want to make more money? Especially on the Ethereum side, you could make a really interesting case there. So the other point, so I thought, was he talking about Trump coin? And then I was like, was he talking about the tariffs? That was unexpected because he kind of, Trump talked about that during the campaign before. Again, he talks about a lot of stuff, but I don't feel like that was super, I don't know. I feel like he was talking about tariffs at that point. I don't think he's talking about crypto. I'll say that. So, so just going through a couple interesting things before I get to the main. I'll talk to chat in just a minute. Put your question in there. I'll get to them in a second. This is going to be a pretty full stream because we got a lot of stuff to go through. And then, of course, you talked about being the SEC, not settling. Again, that's a huge deal. I don't know why people aren't more excited about it. It is one of those literally red candle syndrome. It's one of those like, how can you not be over the moon? You have to be focused on something else other than winning. And you have to have some other grievance other than seeing winning happen in the ecosystem to not be like, whoa, we just floored the SEC on merit. And, all the, the regulatory clarity, all that stuff too. It's amazing. Before I even did this stream, before this video even dropped, I had so many things I want to go into. I have many more streams, or at least one or two more that I'm thinking about doing that I wanted to do this week after I took a day off, which apparently I can't do right now. It's like too much cool stuff happening. And so this is I'm just trying to, I guess, paint a picture of this world of exciting stuff happening on PulseChain. So if you can't see it, look deeper, look closer. And I thought it was funny too when he was talking about PulseChain conference. He's like, that I didn't even know about, which makes sense because he doesn't read anything, right? He doesn't see any. At least that's the description, on his X and all that. And so even let's just say that's true. Like he never heard about it before. He never saw me tweet about it or otherwise. Everyone else, I hope you're not surprised about the next conference because I redid the poll for PulseX conference happening. Thinking about doing this summer, and it's way more positive than it was a couple weeks ago when I talked about it. I guess did you have to see me do a conference first and then, or even know about it more? So not really. I don't know if you haven't, hopefully you'll hear about the next one. Hopefully you've been following me. If I feel like I provide pretty good information and memes and stuff like that too on the RH ecosystem. But I don't know how people didn't see the conference. Maybe you got to be just my thing. You got to be either taking a break or just not watching a lot of streams or just not following me on Twitter or following any of the speakers who tweeted about it. Because for weeks, I tweeted about it almost every other day. I feel like I maybe went 3 days. One time I went 3 days without promoting the conference in some way. And especially the last couple of weeks before the conference, I was on Coffee's channel. He did a video. Me and Corey did a video. It's on Magic Carpet Ride with Triplet Dad and Fast Abdul talking about it. My own channel, of course, like I tried not to talk about it that much because I want to bring you fresh, exciting content to my detriment. I think I'd try to I really do appeal to the community and a lot of my followers and people who are do watch my content a lot because I don't want to always be telling you the same message. And I know that probably goes against a lot of marketing principles. Richard even mentioned this video about, if your people aren't getting tired of your ads, then you're not promoting enough type of thing. I don't know. I think I don't know. I just don't, I like keeping the content super fresh and not repetitive. Like every time I watch some channel where they keep promoting the course, they keep promoting, some event where they keep saying the same things, or they keep repeating the same, greatest hits, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't like it. So I think that's one thing that makes me not, over promote things is I want to get people who I know are listening a lot of fresh stuff and not I could show you Go Real DeFi every single stream. I could tell you about the Pulse faucet. I could tell you about the validator scripts. I could tell you about all the playlists I have. I could like do that every single stream. I just don't want to talk. I want to talk about new stuff. I want to have fresh content. So it's like part of it's like a little selfish, I guess. And the other part is like, I know my subs probably appreciate that too, because that's what I appreciate when I'm a sub to somebody's channel. So is that not as good for new people because they don't get to know everything because I don't repeat it all the time? I guess so. But I'm not the only one in the community too. I don't need to do everything. I don't need to be the best at everything. That's why we have a community. It's not just me. It's not just me, talking about Hex and PulseChain all the time and nobody else, and everyone else just listens to me because there's plenty of people talking about it. Definitely could be more people, and I want there to be more people. But I don't need to be the best at every single angle of marketing. Everyone else step up. Like, I just did a conference. I stream pretty much all the time. No expectations. Again, I take breaks when I need to and I want to. But like, I don't need to be the best at everything. Like, I'm going to be who I want to be. And I think I'm, if I'm 80% effective, the most effective I can be, and I enjoy what I'm doing 100%, like that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, let's take a break. Talk to chat for a minute. Tam, so thankful for you. I'm thankful for you, Tam. Thankful for you and everyone else out there refusing to lose. You are winners no matter what. You're winners when things are up. You're winners when things are down. You're winners because you believe you are winners and you manifest it. And you understand what it takes to get there. And it ain't short-term gambling games. It's putting in the work. So I appreciate you for putting in the work. What's up, Archie? Great job on the conference and your mention too. Thank you very much. I could have went without the mention. I could have went without any claps or praise or thank yous, but it's always nice to see. Not necessary, but nice to have and appreciate. Don't let them soak in enough. I don't think it's pretty nice to have. Fox Monitor bet the Interpol notice redness is why he's not going live. I think that's you kind of that's actually a good segue too into one of the pieces that probably people missed. If you've listened, probably people missed a lot of the key pieces because they haven't watched the video yet. But one of the key things, because he mentioned the tax exemptions. He mentioned it was in the marketing conversation. I think I posted a clip on this already on Twitter. But he mentioned that you can start an organization. There's all these benefits and maybe legal protections and tax exemptions. He mentioned that again. And I really think that is key. I think I tweeted about this or talked about it before too. About the Interpol case could that be the missing piece for there being no taxes owed if the SAC funds went to an entity that was tax exempt and all this stuff? Like, just imagine doesn't this make sense? Like, let me lay it out. Tell me if it makes sense. Sacrifice phase happens. The wallets that I go to are set up to be tax exempt, are set up to be, whatever, fitting in that territory. They're marked as that and to be used only for that. Sacrifice phase happens. Finland's like, they get tipped off or whatever, and they're like, whatever happened? And they're like, oh, this guy, just taking millions of dollars. You guys gonna do anything about it? You just want to be broke. You want more money or not more money? Of course, they're gonna be like, well, it cost us nothing to go do this. Why not? Then they they're like, well, we can't just do that to put them on red notice. We got to make up something else, or we got to find somebody who's going to lie about it, or find somebody who's going to do the assault thing. And then let's do it. Let's initiate it. We got enough. Let's put them on there. It looks like the SEC is going to lose. Let's try to get them here. And then it happens. Doesn't that make sense? Am I missing something? Like, how is that not probably what happened? Or like the same flavor of it? So he keeps mentioning it. Let me go to the tweet real quick on my Twitter. Guys are getting a long stream today. A long stream for a solo stream, at least probably an hour or so. So buckle in. Buckle up. Let's search from RHMax. What is this? I don't know, tax. I forgot how I phrased it. Yeah, was it this one? So if you were genius billionaire founder guy who is smart and doesn't need more money, wouldn't you have everything set up in a tax beneficial entities that may never directly profit you, but you still control and enable glory? That tweet is so good, if I may say so. I'm going to take it to the AI and we're going to riff a little bit. Let's riff. I tweeted this. And it is in relation to Richard Hart being charged for, what was it, tax fraud, tax evasion, whatever, for running a sacrifice phase that collected, let's say, $1 billion. Is it accurate? Could that be what happened? Finland. Let's see, context. Finland government put him on red notice for it. Let's see. Could the case be solved easily by him doing tax strategies for the sacrifice? Okay. ICO. Let's see. Similar to ICO in crypto. See what GPT has to say. All right. Is your tweet accurate in concept? Broadly, yes, with caveats. Okay. Many high net worth individuals do use complex tax strategies, trusts, foundations, DAOs, offshore entities to control assets without technically owning them, reducing personal tax liability. This is especially common in crypto. So, however, the key difference is whether it was done legally and transparently. Could Richard have avoided tax charges? Possibly, yes. Sacrifice phase was similar to ICO crowdfunding model. It was clearly disclosed that donation or nonprofit structure held an entity not tied to him personally. Funds weren't used for personal enrichment, and he might have a better defense. Okay. So, core issue seems to be control of the funds. Money is funded personal luxury items. Okay, so now I think it's picking up on some of the new stuff. So let's do this. Nobody knows if he controlled the funds or an entity did. SEC case closed, and nobody could prove he used it for personal items. Update your worldview. Shout out to Richard. That's an important detail, and it changes the framing quite a bit. So then, yes, it is very plausible that he structured things in a way that gave him de facto control without legal ownership, which is exactly the kind of thing the tweet is pointing to. So, final take. You might be right that he set up in a way that's hard to attack legally unless you can prove he had personal benefit of the funds, intent to deceive tax authorities. Interesting. So, if he set it up in this way, would Finland government know? Or if he told them afterwards, would the case go away? Ted, you get money's worth today. Doing some fun stuff. Not automatically, even if use offshore donations, DAOs, and trusts legally separated from funds. Tax authorities wouldn't know unless he closed the file. He's obligated to report worldwide income and control. Simply, nothing like that. So unless he proactively disclosed everything at the time, they may believe he hid it. If he tells them now, could the case go away? Possibly it was misunderstanding. He generally didn't benefit personally. He could provide full documentation showing that. Yeah, obviously, like his lawyers can be able to do that. If that's the case, he wasn't a Finnish resident at the time. Interesting. So now it makes me think, like, is there a Finnish resident thing to this? Like, is there a way to live there but not be a resident? He was obligated to report but didn't. failure to report. It's often, well, not for charges, even though it looks intentional. In that case, voluntary collision damage use penalties related to settlement will make the case go this way instantly. Okay. Finland's case is weak and symbolic, political, or yeah, again, that's a lot of people believe it's just a political move and nothing to it. Okay. Okay. Is there a way to live in? Let's see. Is there a way for him to have lived in Finland without being a resident and not owing tax anyway? Yeah, so maybe he tries to prove that. Maybe he's like, I wasn't a Finnish resident and they went to a foundation. How are we not winning this? How is this not like a home run? Come on. Everything's just like, makes this sound so serious. It's like, there's plenty of ways. We're just like doing this. This is just like spitballing about this stuff. And there's like obvious ways this could work out totally fine and get dismissed. Yeah, maybe he didn't stay in Finland for 6 months continuously. There's all kinds of things there. Yeah, look at this. He could legally argue that he's not a Finnish tax resident, owed no taxes, even if he visited and stayed there temporarily. Don't you think big brain genius billionaire guy might have did that, where he's not really a resident anywhere, maybe, or at least in Finland, to make sure this isn't a problem? Let y'all chew on that for a second. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah. So back to the original statement, though, Fox. Bet the Interpol noticed is why it's not going live. Probably, yeah. That's probably why we're getting videos with, I guess there's green screen. Probably advantages to having videos with like all green or all black, and not showing background, all that stuff too. And in addition to OPSEC, but yeah, I think so too. I think once Interpol is over, which could be any day, you never know. It appears I'm not on the Interpol list anymore. The political prosecution is over. You never know. And you got 60 days SEC. Why does anyone think they're going to appeal that? Like, I want to have, like, we already got nuclear herbs saying how, like, why would they do all this stuff and then appeal when who's going to pick it up, like, and all this stuff? It's SEC change administration. I'm not going to go into it, so I'm not worried about that. But the Interpol thing seems like it could go away. Easy. Look at all these ways. This is just me. Literally the first time I even thought about this, just going down a rabbit hole for like 10 minutes. And he's got a Chad lawyer team, the best team money can buy. And you don't think they can figure it out? You don't think he set himself up to win before? What are you talking about? Come on. All right, we keep going through the chat. Are you not entertained? We're just getting started too. We just 30 minutes in. I'm in the mood for a long stream today. Let's do it. Let's go. Let me find my place in chat. Des, I woo. How's it going? I woo indeed. I woo. It's like the Sparta thing. I think he's being cautious. Happy with that? Yeah, he's being smart. Like, we don't have all the data. Everyone who speculates in this like imaginary horribles way, and it's like, oh, all these bad things are going to happen. How do you know? How does anyone know? Like, we don't have all the data. We don't have all the stuff in front of us. We're just working off of all these guesses. And if you're guessing in the dark, then you're probably going to be wrong. At least like use GPT to go ask us some good questions. Like you could be right a lot more. Anyone out there who has any kind of take on anything, put your take, just like I did. Put your take in GPT. Ask us some good questions about it. Let it give you some feedback. Yeah, shout out to somebody for the timestamps. Again, I don't know if he did timestamps or he got it from Richards, or I assume he did them though. The alpha around 39 minute mark. 39 minute mark. I'm trying to think when I was clipping, what piece was that? There's a lot. I mean, there's in the beginning and the end. Yeah, I think maybe 39 minute mark was around. He starts talking about the stuff we're going to get into. So I got a lot of cool stuff we're going to keep talking about. But I got to get to chat because chat's awesome. I can get to chat for the last couple of days. Not very much. Mr. Chuck, PulseChain's birthday is 5 days, May 12th. That is mathematically correct, sir. 5 days. I like it. Almost there. Almost 2 years old. You know what they say? Chains that are 2 years old might go up. How's it going, Hex Wizard 369? Got some numerology going on. Susie Q, appreciate you. Exciting times. Richard's streaming now. Could be. By the way, let me know, chat, if Richard goes live. I will stop the stream immediately and go watch it. Johnny Veritas, do you think decentralized will create a marketing nonprofit to promote free speech and to potentially receive the SAC funds? I don't know if anyone's receiving the SAC funds. And yeah, I know there was a marketing initiative going on over there. I don't know. I've been following it lately. But I hope we're out there marketing PulseChain. Certainly hope so. A lot of great people with a lot of great skills and a lot of great energy that can put it to work on this. So appreciate seeing all the efforts out there like that. Crypto Jake, great conference, smash that like. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Susie says, I like your content the way you enjoy giving it to us, Max. You shine. Thank you. I agree with that. I like that sentiment. I'm gonna keep doing it that way. I don't, like I said during the conference, I don't tend to go with things that are popular. I go with things that I believe. So that's me. Zenith, what's happening, man? RH mentioned some 2055 conference thing you know, was referring to. We talked about a Z. We talked about it. Yeah, it was. He did give the. Although no one, I call it the Pulse Conference 2055. Of course, he said Pulse 2055 PulseChain 2055 conference. You can say PulseChain conference too, but technically it's Pulse Conference 2055. Not to be confused with the perhaps no expectations upcoming PulseX conference, which will probably be PulseX conference 2025. We probably won't do 2055 with that one. I don't need to have a permanent futuristic theme, but we'll see. Who knows? I mean, I liked it, but I kind of like switching up the different themes as well. Archie says, I agree, Max. No way RH would have thought all this through in advance. Yeah, of course he did. How is it that hard to believe? I feel like all the opinions come from people who never watched any of RH's stuff and just got into the sack face and have no idea what he's about and what he's capable of and what his mission is. If you distill like all those opinions, they're probably at this point probably negative. And I would discard all of those opinions. Anyone who hasn't watched RH's videos from the old days, I've been following since 2017, so I have quite a deep view of the man. So I can tell you stuff all day long. But anyone who didn't and has good, who is aligned to FUD or aligned to just have doubts or otherwise spread negativity, they're going to do it, and you're going to have to listen to it or mute them. So it's just there's a lot of bad takes out there. I've seen a lot of bad takes, a lot of uninformed takes out there. I'll say that. If allegedly Punchy Change one time puts on top most wanted list, there would be a lot of people on the most wanted list. Yeah. As Richard might say that one out of every 5 people in Florida may be on that list. Shout out to Florida. I like Florida a lot. Richard thinks it's very dangerous though. So that's why I was doing it in his inspired by his takes on Florida before. Yeah, it's obviously a shame. It's just like we need something because we can't just do tax evasion because there's nothing there either. So there you go. What's up, T-Shares? Welcome. I won't get to all the chat, but I'll try to get to a lot of it. Blind leading the blind. Don't you think it's irresponsible to keep up these hexagons' hope alive? Hex was doomed from day one. Richard owns most entire supply, among other glaring red flags. Dustin Morgan, appreciate you chiming in. I disagree. I don't think so. I think thinking about it being, it's pretty interesting actually. If you believe Hex and PulseChain are doomed to fail, and you are promoting them, then logically, it would be irresponsible to keep people's hope alive. Ethically speaking, in a very generic way. However, it gets quickly invalidated when I don't believe that, and there's no data to show that, and it's purely an opinion. So while I respect that everyone can hold their own opinion, and again, they can shout it from whichever rooftop, or they get time, for example, on the show, for example, to talk about it. I disagree. And I mean, Hex was doomed from day one. I don't agree with that. Richard owns most of the entire supply. Even if he did, I don't think that validates your first point, which was Hex was doomed from day one. I don't think that's like a data point from it either. Among other glaring red flags, I think Hex is so different and set up in a way that is very different than a lot of other cryptos, where it's not a scam. It does, Richard used to say that, what is it? It uses scam tactics without being a scam. I forget how he said it. And we've had 5 years of showing that it's not a scam. And we've faced the biggest adversity, the most criticism. Richard's been on video with lawyers for 7 hours and all this stuff. And he wins every single time. Every single argument he has crushed over and over and over. So I get the point that there are things throughout history they could point to that are obviously going to fail, or scams that don't know they're scams yet. Like, that's not the point too. Where they would be the blind leading the blind. I could see projects today where I think they're, if I were to give a not generous assessment, they would be the blind leading the blind. People are going to get other people wrecked on other projects and stuff. And some of them have good intentions, the people doing it. Some of them don't. And I just think that, I just disagree with the entire premise. But I'm glad you brought it up because it really helps me remember, and it challenges. I don't mind to be challenged in these ways. I don't mind. What's the first thing in my X feed description? First principles thinker. I have pride for using my brain. And of course, is there always that, 1%? There's always this, like, again, imaginary horrible. I don't want to use all the language. I'm trying to be as, objective as possible here. Is there always this chance that, yep, they just got you. You just got scammed? I know they're really good at it. I know that, they could be playing the long game. Again, literally, it's really hard to make this case objectively. Honestly, it is really hard. Like if I would literally sit down and write down the ways I think that this ecosystem could be a scam, it's just not going to be very strong points. It's going to be mostly opinions. So, and on the other side, I have mostly opinions saying why it's not doomed. And that's cool too. But I don't think there's any data points. There's no objective facts that show that this ecosystem, that Hex or PulseChain, Richard Hart are scams or scammers. And it's not the sunk cost fallacy. It's not that I've been doing this a while. It's not that I've been following for a long time. And yeah, of course, do I want them to win? Do I, does this whole effort, the time, energy, capital, brand, has it been put into making sure this place wins and making sure that people understand that it's not, not a bad place. It's not a place where your money can just be stolen and taken away. And the founder's not just, what was in the movie? What was the way to describe it? The Clay from Nomics, he said, art, some kind of arts piece. I forget what it was. It's not this, it's not a scam. So from everything that I understand about it, and I understand a lot about this ecosystem, I've seen a lot, and I've been here a long time. Of course, am I biased? Of course am. I realize that. But I'm, again, first principle thinking, start from the ground up. Where's the scam? Who got scammed? Who gave their money to someone and it got taken away? It wasn't Richard. It wasn't Hex. It wasn't Hex protocol. PulseChain's working fine. Who got scammed? You could do all these mental gymnastics and you can go back and forth and be like, oh, well, there's set up in a way for only certain people to benefit and he owns all the coins. And, obviously this is, like there's all these things you can come up with. There are these indirect, like, oh, but it feels this way. They're all opinions. My opinion is this place is baller. This place is, I refuse to give up on this place because I know that it has so much. I'm not going to say the word potential. It is so powerful that it cannot be recreated. And there is no other place like it. And I want to see Richard come back and start doing the great things that he has set himself up to do. And he has enabled us to do. And we've enabled him to do. No, I try my hardest not to have expectations, but I will say the most expectations I have in the world of me putting my energy and stuff in this place is that we will get to glory. So that's what I believe. Appreciate the, I can appreciate opinions that are not just troll comments and stuff. Like, yeah, thank you for starting the conversation there. Does RH still have a U.S. passport and that's citizenship with 25X? Good question. I don't know. I don't know his citizenship status. Maybe we'll know one day. I don't know. Let me just a second. Most people don't get it, even smart people. It's true. There's a lot of smart people out there that they just don't get it for whatever reason. They don't. And that's okay. Like not everyone's going to get it. I hope that they're not a net negative on the ecosystem from doing it. And I hope, we can have productive conversations and debates and stuff like that. But there's plenty of people. Cardano guy doesn't get it, doesn't want it, doesn't need it. Don't think we've ever had any interaction from Vitalik, even though they have a lot of longevity stuff in common. But a lot of smart people do. We got a lot of cool people who want Richard to win. So don't forget about that. Just scrolling down. Hexagon Greencorn, how's it going? Buckle up. We ain't even got to the God Candle stuff yet. We ain't even got there. This stream's going to go an hour and a half, I have a feeling. Appreciate you all being here with me. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to take a couple breaks in between, though. Standing for this long is kind of annoying. I've stood for like 2 hours. I did like 2 hour streams before. Have I did 3? I feel like I did over 2 hours. But standing for that long is just, I got to stretch. I need to, I got to take breaks and stuff. Posture's pretty good. But still, it's just like that long standing from your joints and your muscles. And I'm a very active person too. So kind of want to, maybe I'll probably go for a run after this and stuff too. Just scrolling. You guys are having some conversations here too, but Crypto Stylist. Hope to see you again at the next conference as well, and appreciate you as well. Always good to have a conversation. Desmond, wish you all luck. I wish you luck as well, man. I hope everyone's dreams come true, however they get there. Hopefully you get there in a very ethical, integrity-filled way. You don't need to scam people. You need to show people, hopefully you show people products that change their lives. So yeah, I wish everyone well. Sorry, I'm gonna have to scroll faster. Crypto Toad 83. Great day in Mexico. That's right, man. Super exciting. This whole week. I mean, again, I think the conference really set the tone for Mexico this week. I think, I was going to tweet, did the conference get Richard to, did it get him to wake from his slumber, get out there and do some work that we don't expect him to do? It's, you know what? I'm going to record a video. The community's out there doing conferences. They're doing conferences again. Let me do a video. Let me tell them what's up. I mean, I guess it did kind of coincide with SEC stuff coming out too. But hopefully we brightened his mood a little bit and gave him a little bit more. Although I got so much stuff. I got a lot more stuff to talk about. He said something where I was like, whoa, I don't think I've ever heard him say this before. I'll get to it in a bit. I had to listen to it a couple of times. I was like, did he say that? And what does it mean? And I think I have an idea of what it means too. I'll tell you what I think. Coming up on RHMax.tv. We're killing it today. Killing it this whole week. I might even stream tomorrow. Never know. RH came to the US 3 years ago, so I assume he's got a passport from the US. That's a good point. Don't forget Mother's Day this weekend. That's true. Do not sleep on Mother's Day. Show all your moms. If you got them out there to show them you appreciate them. Everything else. Hope Aria. RHMax, what do you think is the bottleneck for RH ecosystem not to be adopted as expected? SEC, red notice, no CX listing. For me, it's the no central exchange listing. Oh, you might have just kicked us off into the next segment about where I think Richard mentioned this in the video as well, which I think is really interesting. So give me just a minute. I'll come right back. All right. Y'all notice how I never ask you, or never, so it's a hard word, but I very infrequently ask you to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I don't like hearing that myself. When I hear stream doing it, I'm like, okay, I could fast forward. I could just give me the juice, give me the good stuff. So anyways, bottleneck for RH ecosystem on it. CX. So one thing you may have missed on the video is one thing he said is, what do we need? He talked about margin trading. He still mentioned margin trading. He's mentioned margin trading. Let me pull up the list of dev things that's been floating around a lot that I talked about quite a while back as well. So the list of dev things on this list, put this in the chat. It's like a 3-year-old list or so. So if you look at this on here, he's got a whole bunch of different stuff he's thinking about for PulseChain and for PulseX and stuff like that. And where is it? Stablecoin from an exchange I'm making, aggregator. The last one before Tornado.cash is margin trading. Pretty sure he mentioned again in this video. And when he said it, I was like, oh, wow, he's still like, that's something he mentioned that, that could be happening. So when he said it, though, I was like, margin trading. So again, he's been saying this for years on and off too, like different pieces. Centralized exchange. Like I feel like the next thing we may see on PulseChain could be a centralized exchange. Who knows who's behind pump.tires? Who knows, all this stuff, not official products. So whether it's community or whether it's RH himself, the centralized exchange with margin trading that for PulseChain, and it could be broader ecosystem stuff too. It could be for everything, just PulseChain centric, for example. That still sounds like that's one of the things that he wants to see happen and could be making happen himself. He's always, from the BitMEX links and everything else, margin trading, leverage and stuff has always been something that I think he just knows it's good, like it's marketing for the chain, right? If you're first of all, you get the marketing and the on ramp for people to buy it if you're on a centralized exchange. And then if you have leverage options, you get the bigger players in who have capital, right? More people with more money to come in and start playing with it too. So as far as the bottleneck for our ecosystem, I think SEC is done. I don't expect to see anything else come from that myself. I think it's reasonable to expect not to see. It's reasonable to expect that to just go away at this point. The red notice stuff, like I said, sounds easily explainable and easy to go away. I bet its lawyers are just working on it now, right? Just working on, hey, Finland government, like you missed all these things, so here you go. It's all cleared up now. And the listings is something, again, Art just talked about before, but it's just not, I don't know, to me, again, I really don't like exchange listing stuff. I want it to happen because I know it's good for marketing, but I just don't. There's something about begging for exchange listings or just asking people to do it or paying for it. I personally just don't like, because they may screw you over and they may delist you at any time. It's like all these things against it. It's like an uphill battle if I've ever seen one. So it's just really hard to do. Like other things too, like getting, and it just feels the opposite of what I'm here, right? I want sovereignty. I don't want a boss. I don't want somebody who can just delist my coin. I know necessary evil, all this stuff too, but that was something he mentioned, and I got to listen to it again. I don't know if I clipped it or not. Been posting all of these clips to the X feed, by the way. If you're not following at RHMax, just the way it sounds on X. But that was one where I was like, we keep hearing this. He's never, just like the wallet. He keeps saying wallet. Keeps saying margin trading, exchange stuff over the years. Are we going to see it? So that could be interesting. So I think that is, as far as the adoption goes, honestly, I just think a lot of it's just macros. But on that point too, I want to go on to the, I'll get to chat in just a minute before I get onto the last 2 points, because I think they're pretty interesting. I don't know. I think the bottleneck is just crypto is just kind of dead right now. We don't have retail coming in aping in over these products. So will we have a mini bull run with PulseChain because RH comes back and wheels it into existence? Maybe. I hope that happens, and we get some glory. Hopefully, we kick off the next bull run. Maybe the 4-year cycle is broken. But you hear all these things too. Not saying it is, but I'm just saying if something different does happen, if this time is different, I can see Richard being a part of it. All right, scrolling for a second, and then the Chad of muscular bodies has entered the chat. Look at that. On the moon. Limited wind. All right. We're going to PulseChain. All right, everyone. Let's get on to... Yeah, let's go. He talked about the ETH price. He said he really cares about the ETH price. Why would he care unless he had bags of it? Which we can reasonably speculate that he has. And he wanted to profit from those bags, to which we could also speculate could contribute towards glory, could contribute towards something, some very advanced strategy that would pump the ecosystem, give it a lot more value, and onboard people. So to me, I think he's waiting for the ETH price to go up before whatever big plans he has kicks off. Again, we don't know, but if there was, I think he's waiting for the ETH price to go up for that. And then I think that we'll probably see other stuff happen that'll kick off before then. But I think if there is this big liftoff for PulseChain from capital coming in around the SAC funds or otherwise, I think ETH price goes up, and that bag is worth a lot of money. We don't need, it's not that, I don't say that to say that we need that to happen before anything big happens, but I'm saying if anything is going to happen with those funds, it would happen after ETH went up, which I know sounds obvious saying it, but I think what's useful is the context of that doesn't need to happen, but he sure keeps talking about how he wants that to happen. As far as ETH price going up, why would he want it to happen unless he's going to do something with it, right? I don't think the ETH price affects him streaming. I think that's the Interpol stuff, which again could go away soon. In the 60-day SEC thing, again, I kind of shrug at that. But yeah, I don't think it affects him streaming. I think he would want to stream at a good macro time or a good up time. Like if he starts streaming, I would be very surprised if we didn't go consistently up after that. That seems like if there's certain catalysts in the ecosystem that make PulseChain go up, that we will see, this year, hopefully. I think it would be RH streaming. And these could happen independently of each other too. ETH price going up considerably. Or macro environments, risk on, nope, we're you made us too poor. We want to go make some money. Crypto time. Trump announces some other crazy crypto plan or whatever. I think those things are the most reasonable things I could see for happening at some point. That would be catalysts, major catalysts. Other things could happen too. It could all be happening. You could watch the chart. It could be slowly going up over time, and we not hear much going on. And then boom, major catalysts. I could see that. So that was a big thing. He also mentioned the God candle. I kind of just want you to watch the clip on the God candle because I posted on X. So if you go to X and you go to the God candle one. Oh, you didn't talk about this yet. Ooh, We didn't even talk about that. We got 2 more things to talk about, at least. Yeah, God Candle. If you go and watch this clip, I'll put the link in the chat. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. He's like, it's just something like, any moment could get a God Candle because, he's referring to what I understand as the liquidity situation stuff on PulseChain, which has went down, which you could speculate, he had, something to do with, or entities that control huge capital on PulseChain have something to do with. So he's setting it up. He's setting up the T for you. Oof. Bullish. Now let me tell you something even more bullish. This is something that he said that I think this is probably, I don't know if I can uniquely interpret this myself and tell you about it, or if someone else picked it up. But here's one thing I think you might have missed listening to him for at least the first time. I posted the clip on my X as well. Just go in there and find it. And he said something like, all of you could disappear and things would be fine. Something to that effect. And I was like, wait, let me back that up. Like, what is this context? And I listened to it again, and I was like, why would he say that? Like, he was joking like that he's thought about calling us sellers, like we're the sellers. We're all the people selling the price down. It was within that context. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, is he saying that? Okay, so if he's saying that everything would be fine, PulseChain would be fine, again, he's alluding to like all this stuff would be great, even if all of us disappeared. So who's he talking to? He's talking to the community, right? The current community, the people who are still here, people still here who are net positive, people still here who are net negative. He's telling us from what the way I took it, my first instinct after I'm thinking about it a little bit too, is we could disappear and it would be fine. Why would he say that? I think that he said it because he is very confident that new people will come in and that our community will grow. And I think he's definitely going to come back and market the crap out of it, because how is it going to happen? How are we going to onboard the next 100,000 people into Hex, into PulseChain, using PulseX without having a huge marketing push to do it? How do we get the huge marketing push? Again, you could say chicken and egg, green candles. You could say, organizations getting together, people funding initiatives. It could be grassroots. It could be top down. And then towards the end of it too, he talks about I think he said all I need, or all we need or whatever is marketing. And I'm like, why would he not? Like, I've already made the case that he's going to come back, because that's how glory works. You got to come back and claim the glory and all that stuff. But it got me hyper bullish when he's saying, all of us could disappear, what I'm taking as a current community, and we would still be doing great. Again, I don't take that as a slide as, we don't need you, all this stuff. He's saying he is so confident that we're going to be fine and glory is going to happen, that, it's got to be leading to this. Again, it just seems like I would not be surprised if he comes back, markets the crap out of it. That is a catalyst we have going forward. So when he said it, it's very kind of awkward to parse out, but I believe that's what he means. I believe, I think the most bullish interpretation of that is that he knows people are going to come in, and we do not expect it of him. But one way that could happen is that he comes back and he leads the charge to do it. And everything he's did in the past makes me think that he's going to do that. Why wouldn't he? To get glory, you need to do that. That is the one thing you put. Everyone out there in the chat, let me know. If you could have one thing that you think would instantly 10x the PulseChain price, for example, that would instantly make everyone go nuts in the ecosystem, it would be his live stream. And then after that, it would be him, bring your heroes here to die. Let me debate anyone. Let me go show you the new charts of the up only. Let me go tell you about all the new privacy features. Oh, we got a wallet coming out soon. I'm not saying we need him to do that. I'm saying that he is saying things that makes it seem like that is inevitable. Are you not bullish? This was a really good video. A lot of amazing stuff in it. And another point to it too is all of you could disappear and things would be fine. I think that really speaks to how, again, a lot of people out there aren't positively promoting the product. They're fudding their own bags. They're fudding their own bags. I know do the hard thing. I know it's hard. Do the hard thing. Stop fudding your own bags. Do the hard thing. So we go into glory. We're going to glory regardless. If you fud your own bags, I imagine a lot of people fud their own bags. They don't have a lot of bags anymore. So I don't give financial advice, but I would not be surprised if the profitable move is not fudding your own bags, selling out early before glory happens. I would not be surprised if that's the case. Not telling you what to do, but boy, I'm here to win. I'll keep saying that. I will keep saying that. Do the hard thing, right? If you're watching this right now, you are consuming my content instead of making your own, which I appreciate. And there's some good, there's some positive pieces you can do that too. You can hit the buttons, you can share it, you can use it to help onboard people, all that stuff too. But logically, you're not making your own if you're listening to mine right now. You're probably not doing both at the same time. So stop fudding your bags and go put in the work. Do the hard thing. Maybe you'll get richer. Everyone else will too. Why not? So the last piece coming up, he's not disappearing. It kind of ties in together. I don't think he's disappearing because I posted this clip on X as well. He mentioned, he was talking about Satoshi. And he was saying like, oh, Satoshi, where are you, Satoshi? I'm out here winning cases. I'm out here doing all this good stuff. Where are you? Why would he talk about Satoshi? Why would he, say all these things about how he's here and they're not, and he's doing all this stuff and he didn't get any help and he's here doing all this stuff. Why would he say that? And then do a Satoshi? Why would he do that? I don't think he's going to disappear. I think he's going to come back. And I think we're going to get to glory. And that's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.